Well, hello friends, Mary Allen here with another rapid reset video for you. Simple strategies for finding inner peace in any moment. And we're on strategy number 8 today, which is all about letting go of the should. Yeah, we are going to take a deep dive into the good shoulds, the bad shoulds, and the shoulds that we need to transform so that we do not have shouldy lives. A little humor. So recently I was talking to a participant in my 30-day inner peace experiment, and real quickly it became apparent that she just had so many shoulds that were not really aligned with her. She had been on the path of personal growth and development for decades, perhaps like you and me, and along the way had accumulated so many tips and strategies to be healthier, to be happier, to be more present, to love yourself, and just, there were a lot of those really were working for her, but some of them not so much. And a big one was around sleep. So somewhere she had read and heard that what is so optimal is to sleep between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And for a lot of people, that really is the ideal. And if it is, then awesome. Super awesome. But what we've actually since learned is that some people do much better from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. or maybe it's a midnight to 8 a.m., which I think is really my ideal sleep cycle. That is not always possible with kids and school schedules, although one bonus of the stay-at-home mandate is that I'm getting to sleep on what really is my more natural sleep cycle, which is the midnight to 8 a.m. Okay, so we can have a lot of shoulds, and what do we do with those? So first, I don't want to throw out all the shoulds. There are some good shoulds. I personally have, like, some of my good shoulds are brushing my teeth morning and night, washing my face morning and night. I've got my little skin care routine that I do. Boy, what's another one of my shoulds? Being present with my kids, reading to them at bedtime, except for on the weekends, where we do family movie nights, right? So like we can have certain shoulds that really, really serve us. And then there are the shoulds. Let me adjust my seat here. I like to sit in my cross-legged stance while I am talking to you because it's more peaceful. So here's a should, that a video should be perfect, right? There's a great example of letting go of the should and just letting the imperfection flow, right? Another should that used to be in my life that wasn't working for me was the should to meditate. I am a big fan of meditating, and even recently have done a lot more meditating, but I find that when I make it a should, that it sometimes accumulates a little bit more stress and that background anxiety than really serves me. So if you're not really following through on a should on your list, then maybe it's time to relax it, or you could do the opposite and just really transform it and up the ante on it. So I used to have a should around like workouts. I've always been a big, hey, working out, movement, good for self and your inner peace. And after I had kids, I relaxed my should to, I should do yoga at least once a week. And that was a good should for me. As long as I was getting my one really good yoga workout each week, I was good. I could reset. Good. As these COVID-19 days have arisen and more of the stay at home and distance learning, I have realized that once a week is not good enough. I had already upped the ante to like 2 or 3 times of yoga a week, but even that I was discovering, I needed more. So instead of making it, I should work out every day, I made it, I'm just committed to doing it every single day. And I did a little 14-day challenge with a colleague and just committed to move my body every day in some way. It wasn't, I had to sweat or I had to do X number of minutes. It was, I committed to moving my body every day. And out of that commitment to move my body every day, I redeveloped the habit of working out every day. And so now I'm doing a cardio workout probably 5 times a week, and probably hitting yoga more like 4 or 5 times a week. And on the other days, getting in a walk or just something else to make sure my body is moving, because these are more stressful times. And yeah, so that's a great example of transforming the should into just, it's a must. So it's a must. I do it now first thing in the morning. It really works for me. But that might not work for you. And what is most important is to find something that aligns with you, that you feel good about, that you feel ultimately where the inspiration can take over and it doesn't feel like the should. I'll give you another example of a should. I used to have the should around, I should do the dishes. And, it was just feeling like, I don't know, not feeling good. And yes, it's nice to have the kitchen tidied up and clean. But what I found is, as I let go of the should and said, no, you don't have to do it now, whether it's at night or it was in the middle of the day after lunch, you don't have to do it. Just letting go of that allowed me to be present. And then oftentimes I would find myself just naturally doing the thing that I had just decided to let go of, right? So that's another way that you can play around with this idea of letting go of the should, where you let go of the should and then you can see, you know what, you really do want to do the thing that you were putting on your list. Another example recently, so I was looking at, all right, where am I still shoulding myself? In many, many ways, most of the things in my life, I don't make shoulds. I've relaxed so many of them through the years. But recently, with this whole stay-at-home mandate and having my kids home full-time and doing distance learning, we were trying to find a new flow. And we finally stumbled into one of those great days where I was able to get my self-care in and got my work in, and the kids got their work in, and just, they got their exercise in with my husband handling the PE portion. And then the next day rolled around and the days were not the same. And I realized that I had this should, that this was going to be the new system. This was going to be the new habit or pattern. And I know all of you are listening in going, yeah, right. You've got kids and, there needs to be a little bit more free flow. So yes, ultimately, I relaxed that should, and I really have let go of the notion that every day needs to look the same. It definitely doesn't. I try and get my workout in first thing. Sometimes the kids really need my help with a lesson first thing, or my husband has an early conference call and I can't get in on my exercise bike. But, or I get interrupted and kind of need to roll with that, with one of my kids coming in, maybe in the middle of a video or something. But, just letting go of that should has really, really served me. Here's another should recently. I should be further along, right? This is another good one where we maybe compare ourselves to other people in our industry or other parents or friends that are doing something maybe as we perceive better than the other. And, it's just to come back like you're on your own path. Let go of the should. You're on your timeline, things are unfolding, and, give yourself a little grace there. And then also, just to add, we can have shoulds for others that can get us in trouble. Shoulds for our husbands and significant others, shoulds for our children, shoulds for how even friends should be. Let's say they should be on time. They should call us back immediately. Just to really get that shoulds are our rules, not always theirs, and not always their natural way of being. And an example of this is my husband. Up until just a moment ago, I had a should that he should be able to separate the whites from the darks when he takes off his dirty clothes and throws them into our laundry baskets. He should be able to identify which basket it goes into. And I will tell you, we've just had our anniversary, now married 14 years, and that's my rule, not his. He's just happy that he's got it in the laundry bin. And every time I make it a should, that it should be separated, I have that little angst or pissed offness against him, and it really just interferes with my peace, not his. So as of today, I am going to embrace the fact that I get to sort the laundry. I might suggest it for him a time or two, but to really get that it's my should, not his. And again, any of the shoulds that don't happen, all it does is compromise our sense of peace. So take inventory of the shoulds in your life. I imagine there are at least a few where you could let go of the should in the spirit of having more peace in your life. Maybe there are some shoulds that you love the shoulds, they serve you, they support you, keep embracing those, love those shoulds. Maybe there's some other shoulds, maybe like exercise, maybe like meditating, maybe like getting a good night's sleep. And maybe you're really ready to up the ante on those and make those a must instead of a should. And I'll throw in the caveat that as you lean into those, that if you're finding yourself more beating yourself up over the should, that may be a good idea to relax that. All right, so that is today's video. Yes, a little bit longer, but a lot to unpack about these shoulds. So I'm wishing you many more good shoulds, many more letting go of the ones that don't serve you, and wishing you much more inner peace. So if this video was helpful for you, I would love if you would forward it to somebody that could really benefit from hearing this message and help me help more people up-level their inner peace. If you haven't already joined my Inner Peace on Purpose Facebook group, please do. Look for us, Inner Peace on Purpose, and look for more of these videos in that Facebook group and on YouTube. And until then, here's to your inner peace. Bye for now.